All righty. Well, here we are live, Lock and Key Experiments. I'm your co-host, Mr. Kevin, and your other co-host, Trevor. So say what's up.
What's up?
So
Who was that you were playing? What was that intro music?
that is Steel Drivers with it was one of Chris Stapleton's old bands. And that was his song called Blue Mountain.
Blue Mountain.
It's a great song. So before we get into today's subject, which I believe we're discussing Star Wars today. So before we start, some big news just came out about an hour and a half ago.
You're pregnant.
Shit. I'm pregnant with a couple of burgers in my
couple of kegs.
Couple of some good burgers. Anyways, Jeff Bezos has hired an investment firm to investigate and to place a bid on the the now defunct Washington Commanders. Eric Bieniemy was also announced today as our offensive coordinator, so he signed. I just wanted to put that out there. That's a big win for us. If you're a Commanders or Washington Redskin fan, it's a big win for us. We're finally putting each day a nail is being put into the coffin of Mr. Daniel Snyder. So soon the error of his ways will be gone. Very happy about that. Super.
And the error of Jeff Bezos' ways will start.
Yep. So, anywho, just wanted to put that out there. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I really am pumped about this season. So, with all that being said, without further ado, I guess let's open up the floor and get busy on it. I'm going to just brief introduction.
1 week.
In 1 week. Actually, it's less than a week because it's March 1st, isn't it? Or is it March 3rd?
It's March 1st.
March 1st. So
next week is March 1st.
Yeah. So less than a week away. Mandalorian is coming back on for season 3. It's huge. Don't know if we're gonna get are we getting a Boba Fett season 2?
We don't know yet.
Are we gonna get a Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2? Is that already written or?
We don't know yet. There's been nothing released.
Okay.
Ewan McGregor says he would love to continue to play Obi-Wan.
Okay.
He also dropped some hints that, because he just says something kind of shy, sly, whatever, to make people think that there was more episodes filmed for Obi-Wan.
Okay.
I don't think per se we get an Obi-Wan season 2.
Well,
I think we get a Darth Vader season 1 and Obi-Wan's in it.
Okay. I am now avidly can't wait, sitting on the edge of my seat for Andor season 2. I fell in love with the series. I think it is awesome to see how the rebellion is finally So hold on. Intro real quick. If you're a latchkey kid, you love Star Wars. I don't know.
If not, you're a commie.
Right. So this is our Star Wars episode. I'm going to let y'all know I've read some books, not all of them. I've watched all the movies. I've seen all the series, not the animated stuff. My buddy Trevor here is what we would refer to as the Star Wars guru between us. He knows more than I. But I have read all of the books, the 3-book series with Thrawn and learned about the whole back history.
Original Thrawn.
Yeah, the original Thrawn, and I've done all that. But to get back to what we were talking about, I think out of everything that I have read in all the movies, I think I love Andor the most because we finally realize exactly what the resistance is fighting. I think it's always been assumed that we're fighting the Empire, right? But you never really get the true extent. I mean, you kind of do with the wiping out of the Jedi, but you never get the true extent to how people in these different places are being enslaved, how you have these prison camps where prisoners, as shown in Andor, they're never getting out. You're going away for very small offenses, if any kind of offense, and you're going to work for the Empire. And I think showing that part of the Empire's control has really grasped me in a way that I didn't think it would. And I've really come to appreciate that point. Now, I could be wrong because it's, for me, it's always, Star Wars has always been portrayed from the point of view of the Jedi. I think this is, or the Republic, but it's never been portrayed from the view of an individual who's just a rebel, who's trying to make his way through, the normal course of things. So I love Andor. I think it humanizes the story from the Jedi. I don't know, I don't know how true Star Wars fans feel about that, going away from the Jedi. And
a lot of them don't like it.
Yeah, and I get that, but just from an actual humanist, from a human standpoint, from a person that has no force, I think it's more appealing because you're seeing people rebel who are going against the odds, against the empire that not only has an empire, but they also have the freaking Sith. They have a guy by the name of Darth Vader. So it's impressive to me, and I think it was really cool because this weekend they ran all the Star Wars marathon this weekend. I believe it was on Sci-Fi. I just to kind of realize the depth of which Luke Skywalker realized that the realization that Darth Vader had a conflict within him, that Anakin was still there, So I know this is where I get kind of, I'm a character guy. I like the development of character.
You're preaching to the choir. But see, all that said that you're talking about, if you watch the cartoons,
I know,
read the comics, a lot of this has already been out there. Okay. So a lot of people who've read the comics, especially if you watch Clone Wars, you see a lot of the nastiness. But instead of the Empire, it's the Separatists. Okay. Now, when you get into Rebels, that takes you on a little bit to where you see the making of the rebellion. And this is what's good about Andor, is Andor leads to the Rebels TV show, and then the Rebels TV show leads you into Rogue One, and Rogue One leads you right to New Hope. So I think that's what they're trying to do, to connect all that. And I like it too. Yes, most Star Wars fans aren't gonna like it because, one, okay, it has no characters in there except one that you've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I take that back. We knew Andor, but we didn't know much about Andor. Okay. We knew Mon Mothma was in there. Okay. And so, and I'm with you, but it was slow at first, but then, like you said, once he got to prison and then got out and got in there, you're like, okay, now it's starting to heat up. Now it's starting to heat up. And it's starting to give you a live, it's the first time live action that you could see that the Empire was really bad.
Yeah.
Now, in Bad Batch, the animated show that's out now, if you watch it, you see a lot of the clones are starting to realize that what we're doing is wrong. Okay. And so they're starting to realize that, hey, we fought the separatists for years, okay? And now we're working for the Empire, and the Empire is doing the shit the separatists were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so some of the clones are starting to realize, hey, this isn't right. Well, I know, again, you're not a big animated guy, but you need to go and watch.
So how do we feel? What do we foresee just with the trailers that I've seen with Mandalore? You know,
I think
do you think we
Mando.
need a backstory of the planet Mandalore, do you think, or are we
You're not
not?
going to get a whole bunch of backstory. You're going to get a
Okay.
little bit of it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. He'll probably just brief touch on it. Okay. Because you hear Bo-Katan say in it, she goes, your sect or your tribe or whatever it is, your group almost led to the genocide of our people.
Mhm.
So that's what we're trying to figure out, what group he's in. Okay. Because he's probably hardcore Mandalorian. Okay. He's old school Mandalorian from the old Republic when
Yeah.
the Jedi, when Revan brought the Mandalorians down like
That's
5,000,
what's something else.
like
That is
4,000
somewhere
years
else
ago.
where I want to go. Are we gonna get the Canoe Reeves Revan thing?
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what.
If you're watching Canoe, that's what we want. You are Revan.
If Keanu Reeves plays Revan, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
It's like John Wick.
I'm telling you right now, Keanu Reeves playing Revan could almost, if not, be to the level of Heath Ledger playing the Joker.
Wow.
Or above, because he could play. I mean, because he's got the dark hair, long hair. He's got the kind of old school rough look that you know. So you see him in John Wick, he could play the character perfect. Okay,
That's why everybody's been asking,
man. Whew.
So
I'm gonna tell you right now. I can tell you right now. Okay, Keanu Reeves plays Revan, and they do a trilogy of the Old Republic with Revan and the Mandalore and all that. It'd be the all-time grossing movie. I'm telling you right now, because Keanu Reeves plays it and it does good. Star Wars nerds will go see that movie 10 times.
Probably.
It would. I would almost say it could be the first $3 billion movie.
Well,
People would go see it because Revan is probably top 5 most popular character. And I'm going to tell you right now.
If you wanted to learn about Revan, if you were new to this, where would we go to learn about Revan? What books will we read?
He's not in any books.
Oh, he's not in any books.
That's the funny thing about Revan, okay? Yeah. He was created for a game.
Oh, wow. Which game?
It's one of the old, I think it's the my son's gonna kick my ass because I can't remember. I never played it. Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic. I own that game.
It's one of those.
Xbox. It's an Xbox Microsoft game.
There's the Knights of the Old Republic, and then there's another one. There's 2 movies, two like that, and he's in it. And he's in it. And basically, what happens is, and then there's backstory. I think there might have been a book or something about Revan. Oh no, there was comics. I think. Okay. Basically, Revan was a Jedi. Okay. Yeah. He was a Jedi, and he really was kind of like Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace, to where he was kind of like on the edge. Okay. You got to think this is 4,000 years before New Hope. Okay. So the council wasn't really, it was strong, but there was this way and that was it. You got to understand, at the same time, Sith was out there too. And it wasn't just a rule of 2, it was a whole empire. Now the empire was gone. They didn't know where they were at. So, and he was kind of he's an aggressive Jedi, to where he's like, look, man, we're here. We're not peacekeepers, okay? They're doing this thing. We need to go out there, carry the big stick. You need to swing it, okay? So the council was telling him no. They were in the war with Mandalore. Okay,
Okay.
Mandalore was a planet, but they were raiders. They were conquerors, kind of like Vikings.
Yeah.
Went from system, and they were infringing on the Republic's territory. So then the Republic, they went out there. They were going to take Jedi's. Now you got to think, Jedi's were in the thousands. I mean, tens of thousands. They had a whole bunch of Jedi's, and so Revan took some of his guys, and they said, "No, you need to stay down." Revan said, and he went out there and took them out.
Mm.
And what he did was he used a bomb or something, like a force bomb, okay, and he used it on the planet, and that's what caused the planet to be basically crystallized and destroyed.
Okay.
He defeated their ruler. Their ruler was named Mandalore or whatever, and he defeated him, just like with the Darksaber.
Mm-hmm.
Defeating, you become the ruler.
Mm-hmm.
And when you defeat him, you know what he gave you? Didn't give you the Darksaber. He gave you the mask that he wore.
Oh, wow.
So Revan got the mask, and he was basically the leader of Mandalore because he defeated their leader in single combat. So then he doesn't become the leader or whatever. He goes and buries a mask somewhere or whatever. Now, remember, none of this is canon now because this is all Disney took all this away.
Yeah.
So then he went on, did his thing, okay, and then he got a little aggressive to where he started getting dark side tendencies, and he actually, because the Jedi actually said, you know what, we're gonna kick you out, and he said, fine, I'll do my own thing. He became a Sith Lord and created his own Sith kind of empire, and then he went after the Sith. So he went from Jedi to Sith Lord, did his thing over there. Gets captured, or the Jedi bring him back. They wipe his mind. He forgets everything. Then he starts having dreams. He remembers it. Then he goes to take out the Emperor, not the Emperor that we know. The other Emperor, he was 1,000 years old, and he actually could take his entity from one body and put it in another body, and he had two empires. So he had his empire over here, and he had another empire who's run over there. And then Revan went to go try to capture him. He gets caught, and the Emperor keeps him captive for like 400 years, and stasis or whatever's torturing him or whatever, and then he eventually dies. So, but Revan is, out of all the Star Wars characters, Revan is probably the most powerful one there is, because he was on both sides, and that was back then. You didn't have the light side and dark side wasn't defined like it is. Okay, you're either light or dark. There was no in between. Well, then Ahsoka is starting to bring that back to where there is an in between, okay? To where they say I think it was somewhere where they said the darkness, you got to fight against the darkness. It's not fight against the darkness. There's no light and dark side. The light and dark side, it's inside you, it's inside everybody. So you got to fight against that.
Yes.
It's just like the fighting technique that Mace Windu uses, okay? Yes. It was a dark side technique, okay? But he used that technique for specifically because it helped him, because he had dark side tendencies. So he used that fighting style and knew that it could take him down that path. So he knew, this is the fighting style that's going to take me down that path. So I got to fight against my dark side tendencies. So that's why he did it. That's why he was able to defeat Palpatine, because Palpatine is like, oh, wait a minute, this is a Jedi. Jedi attack. And it was an aggressive fighting style.
So, dumb question. And I've always wondered this as a Star Wars fan, and I don't ever remember it being answered in the books or the movies. But Yoda was always considered not the strongest, maybe, but the wisest Jedi, right? So
of that time, yes.
Of that time. So who was the Yoda before Yoda? Do we know? So Yoda, correct me if I'm wrong, what did he say? 900 years old you become. See how well you look. So he was 900 years old.
He trained Jedis for 800 years.
For 800 years.
He was Grand Master of the Council for like 2 or 3.
Okay. So then let's take this back to Mando. That's why I went this way, because I wanted to see we know that whatever the baby is, baby Yoda is, right? It is not Yoda. We know that. But it is of a Yoda species that we do know, right? So he cannot communicate audibly yet, but he can communicate basically with his mind
Through the Force, yes.
through the Force. So the question that I have is, what is it about him specifically, that being, that the Republic want at this point in time, that they want from, what does the Empire want from it? Because remember, they were trying to sell him to the Empire, right? And Mondo was asked to go say. So what is it that they're trying to do with him? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
Like,
so we're going to tie, this is all good. Again, if you would watch some of the cartoons and read
again,
some comics,
if you watch the cartoons, you'll be up to date. If you're ignorant like me,
I'm not saying ignorant. I get it. I'm not, I'm just picking at you. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I just don't watch
No,
it.
and this still, even watching the cartoons and reading the comics, if you don't sit there and learn, because there are hidden messages in everything. Okay.
Okay.
So they're gonna tie all this up. I mean, with Bad Batch, the comics, all this is gonna be tied up because everything they're doing now, okay, right now, the live action, the comics, it's leading to tie everything up between Return and the sequels, okay? Because everybody ripped it, they suck, blah, blah, blah. So they're doing what they can to kind of get it along the way a little bit, okay? The reason why they wanted Grogu, okay, is because the Emperor, okay, you got to think Grogu is 50 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
So Grogu is 50 years old. All right. So Grogu actually went missing. And seeing this is what I don't get, and where it kind of messes with me is when, and I have to go back and watch it, when Mando was given the job to go find Grogu, the guy says it's been out here for 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're in Return. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're 6 years outside of Return. If we're 6 years outside of Return, that means we're 26 years or 25 years from the Revenge of the Sith when the Empire created. Okay. Yeah. Which means Grogu was 24 years old. Okay. How is this bounty or this whatever was put on Grogu and it's been out there for 50 years if Grogu was in the temple?
Right.
Temple fell. So I had to go back and watch that again. Just one of that. So the thing was, the Emperor wanted him because he knows Yoda's species has a high metachlorian count. Okay. Which means if he can get his, because remember in one of the episodes, they
were trying to get his blood.
They just wanted his blood.
Yeah.
They just wanted his blood. What's in blood?
Mitochondria. The mitochondria.
Yeah. What do you need to clone somebody? DNA. So the Emperor was wanting his blood because he knew that species was strong in the Force and could
he could clone other Jedi.
Okay. So the thing is, and that's like with Snoke, okay? Snoke is a clone, okay? Of, I think I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying, because I'm going to contradict myself. I think Snoke was a clone, okay? Or he was a being that was Force sensitive and was strong in the Force, okay? And he got deformed, okay, and all that because he actually, the Emperor was possessed. The Emperor possessed.
The essence of the Emperor was in
Snoke, okay. Or at least part of his essence. Okay. Correct. Remember when I told you before the Emperor could split it? So he probably had his body that was on Exegol, but then he was also in Snoke. Okay. And because he's so strong in the Force that being or sentient being or whatever couldn't handle all that power, so it deformed him. Okay. So that's why you see a lot of these cloning tubes that you see, and a lot of them they're deformed and all that is because they couldn't hold his essence. Now a lot of this, they said they explained a lot of this stuff in the books adapted from the movies, because the books will add stuff to it to where they can kind of answer some of these questions. So that's why he wants Grogu. Okay.
Okay.
So now I think with Grogu now, okay, I think what we're going to end up with is Grogu's going to end up with Ahsoka somehow.
And Ahsoka will be his trainer.
I think that's what's going to end up happening because see, this is the thing, when they start introducing people like this, especially the Jedi, okay, or main characters like this. So you see the Jedi, okay, so we know Rex now, okay, and Rex is actually in Return of the Jedi, so we know that, okay. And then Cody, now we know Cody's still alive at the end because Cody was in Bad Batch, and Cody was the commander of the I think it was the 221. That was Obi-Wan's. He was the guy that gave the order to shoot Obi-Wan down.
Got it.
Okay. And so now we know where he's at. When you start introducing characters like this and we see him now, it's like, okay, we see him now. He's alive now. He survived the purge and all this. Where in the fuck is he during New Hope? Because if New Hope was going on, okay, he'd have been in there fighting. Where's he at? So now they either got to kill him off or they have to explain where he was at during New Hope.
So moving through all this, here's my question that I hope happens. Do you think we get Commander Thrawn showing up in Mando?
No.
Not in Mando? Because Ahsoka's in Mando, so you would think we would get them to
I think with Mando, because you had those tie-ins, okay? You got to remember, Ahsoka appeared in Mando with 2 episodes, okay? Then she showed up in Boba Fett, okay?
True.
I don't know why,
but she did.
It was Mando. That part of the season was Mando 2.0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to end up happening is you might see them mention Thrawn, okay, and that's it.
Okay.
They're not going to bring Thrawn in, and if they do, it's like the final scene of the final episode of the series, okay.
Okay.
And then that's it. You just boom, you see him, and then shit.
Yeah.
And however much longer,
yeah,
Ahsoka comes, and that could be done. Okay, they could do that. Okay,
but they're not going to make. Are they? I can't imagine that they're going to make a Thrawn series, right? Especially when we start talking about like what is it? Missing 6-2. The missing patrol. Flight. Yeah, the outbound flight where we get all that.
You might get all that. Dude,
that would be awesome.
That's what I'm saying is, okay, the vast majority of that series, okay,
was after.
Can bring in, they can do, okay?
Yeah. Because it's all after.
Well, but the thing is the groundwork.
It's after, but before, right? It's after. Oh, hold on. We're about to expire. Hold on. We'll go for about another. Yeah, we're okay. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
So what I'm saying is, so if you go by the original Thrawn book, the way they found him, all that's not gonna go because they've got 6 other books that came out, and it kind of goes back and forth. So you probably won't get a version of Outbound Flight like you have in the book Outbound Flight. You're gonna get a version of it. You could get Outbound Flight, okay, and where the ships go out and they're lost. But I don't think you're going to have it where Thrawn interacts with them and Obi-Wan and Anakin. Because in Outbound Flight, the book, Anakin interacts with Thrawn. Okay?
Okay.
And so now in these new series that they did, the last 6 books, Anakin had interacted with Thrawn, okay? And they were looking for Padme, okay? And so it's a different interaction. So you probably don't have Outbound Flight, okay? with Anakin interacting. You could still, they could, but it'd be a stretch. I think what you're going to get is they're going to take the pieces that they can out of that original 3 and tie it in because the people like that story. Okay.
Yeah.
The problem is you're going to have Ahsoka. Ahsoka's going to take the place of Luke. Okay.
Yeah.
Grogu could probably take the place of whatever. He's going to do something. Okay. Boba Fett could be tied in. He could take Talon Card's role as the bounty hunter or whatever. There could be another guy out there that's, part of the cartel, whatever. Okay. Yeah. I think Thrawn's going to be in charge, and I think Ezra, which is from Rebels, okay, I think he's going to end up being he clones a Jedi from Ezra, and Ezra's not around Thrawn anymore. And I think that's what's going to happen is Ezra, she's going to find Thrawn, but she's not going to find Ezra. And Thrawn had created, she's probably going to find Ezra with Thrawn, but the Ezra with Thrawn is going to be a clone of Ezra.
And not going to
be Ezra. Yes.
It's not going to be Ezra. Okay. Yeah. All right.
And then they're going to do a lot of that. The main thing that's going to irritate me about it is there's no Mara Jade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They can't. I mean, they could do Mara Jade, but then you're starting to throw comic book bullshit in there, just throwing something in there because now you throw Mara Jade in there, which is okay. That's fine. Luke gets with Mara Jade, whatever. Now you got a gap between, okay, what happened to Mara Jade from then to now again when Ben Solo did his thing and Luke went off, okay, it could have been that Ben Solo killed Mara Jade and his son.
Yeah.
And that's what sent him off the deep end, okay? Because they don't talk about that. They don't mention it.
They've never illuminated that. They don't even. It's never talked about in the movie about him with Mara Jade and his son. So my assumption is that is something that's not going to be, that probably won't be talked about.
And that's bad because Mara Jade was a very popular character.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, because we don't want to happen. We got to get better at ending. We're all excited and pumped about Mando coming out on March 1st. I don't know. Does anything else come out?
There's a lot of stuff coming out. Mando coming out. You've got Ted Lasso coming out.
Oh yeah, Ted Lasso comes back. Great show. If you haven't watched Ted Lasso, it's probably
something else coming out tonight. Have you watched Outer Banks on Netflix?
I don't watch Outer Banks. No, I don't watch that show. Once again, I'm a loser. Dude, there's only so many hours. There's only so many hours in a day.
If you would go to the gym for 9 hours a day, you'd have time to goof off and watch TV.
I don't go to the gym for that long. I'd look a lot better if I went to the gym for that long. But no. So
you had Ant-Man that came out last week.
Yeah, still haven't seen it.
I haven't either. Flash is coming out sometime. There's a lot of good stuff coming out. Oh, so when you're talking about the Sith side, there's going to be an Acolyte TV show, and it's going to take you from the
that'll be interesting. And that's going to be a TV show, or is that going to be on one of the?
No, it's live action Disney Plus.
Oh, it's Disney Plus. Okay, all right. I'll have to check that out.
I don't think that's this year. I think it's next year.
Oh, okay. I guess next week we'll go ahead and talk. We won't be in conference championship. It won't be championship week yet. I think the week after that is championship week. And then we have our selection Sunday. So we got a little bit of time right now. Wrap things up. Baseball, everybody's together now. So also get your I believe it's next week. I believe Combine starts March 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I believe quarterbacks and wide receivers are Saturday, I believe. Could be wrong.
That's the biggest waste of time and scam.
Loser. I like watching it.
I give it 5 years and the Combine won't exist.
Oh, well, that's between you and your maker. Anyways, I'm excited about the Combine. I always love watching the Combine. I think it's great to see these guys who get invited in, to see them get their, their shot. It's a pretty exciting time for them. Anyways, what else?
I take that back. It will still exist, okay, but it's going to be better for the second, third, and fourth tier players. Okay, the stars, they're going to stop going to the combine. They're just going to do their workout.
I think we need to do an episode where you get two of your buddies together, or one of your buddies together, I get one of my buddies together, and we sit down and do a massive sports greatest of all time kind of argument show. I think that's something that we could be interested in doing. Definitely want to take some video for when we start playing golf, so you can all of our fans make fun of us when we're out on the course. I'll go that into it. So next week, I think we'll talk about Mando, I'm sure, but we'll move into some other things. I think we got to extend our podcast. I think we need to really maybe start sitting down and looking at a good time during the week where we could put a couple of hours into a show. That way we can really get into the nitty gritty on things. Because like you said, Quantum Mania just came out. That's something I'm really into. There's a lot of other things coming up that in my universe, which is Marvel, that's coming up. We got some things that Maxwell wants me to talk about. My youngest, he wants to talk about
Flash still sucks.
Okay, I will let him know that. So he's a big Flash buff. He saw his first trailer for Flashpoint and about had a heart attack when he saw it. So did I show you his gloves, his wide receiver gloves?
Tell him not to get used to it, because it's not going to be any more of that Flash. It's going to be one and done.
So he's got the Flash gloves.
Oh, sweet.
Flash Venom cleats. So anywho.
Hey, tell him I said Quicksilver was faster.
Ooh, that's just mean.
It is.
Daggone well it ain't true. So why would you?
No, it's not. I just want to hear him say it. I just want you to tell him that.
All right. So hey, that's the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Mislabeled the episodes, just so y'all know that are out there in the community. Remember, subscribe, hit like if you like what we're doing. Once again, I had a friend of mine that said we needed to talk about walk-on dogs. We didn't do that. I'll have to bring that up next episode. But next episode,
what?
Walk-on players, the greatest walk-on players of all time. Anyways, that's the end of the show.
My answer.
I know your answer. I don't even have to ask.
Right.
Hold on. Let me go back. Let's go to screen share. Here we go.
You got cut out again. You're under a minute.
Okay. All right, y'all. That's the end of our show. Have a great day.
There you go. You did it. Yeah.
I did it. All right. See y'all next time. All right.